I am not teaching, I am publicly learning. But hi and welcome to Learning from the Life in UK test part 641. While doing morning stretching, and if you participate in morning stretching, let's set your arms. Now, what do we have here? To the courts. Magistrates and Justices of the Peace are members of a local community. In England, Wales and Scotland, they usually work unpaid and do not need legal qualifications. They receive training to do the job and are supported by a legal advisor. It's already getting too complex, too little information, we cannot really say it in a video. But we could say that magistrates are getting support. Magistrates decide the verdict in each case that comes before them, and if a person is found guilty, the sentence that they are given. At the Crown Courts and Sheriff Courts, the jury has to listen to the evidence presented at the trial and then decide a verdict of guilty or not guilty, based on what they have heard. In Scotland, a third verdict of not proven is also possible. If a jury finds the defendant guilty, the judge decides on the penalty. Let's keep away from sentencing. We can say to the verdict thing that there are 12, guilty or not guilty. In Scotland there are 15, and they can also say not proven. We're not going to say anything to the sentence given. Can we say something to qualified, unqualified, or where they come from? We're not going to say something to the magistrates, because they are working unpaid without legal qualifications but get support. Do we say something to the Crown Courts? There they are at random chosen from the local electoral register. We can say it all. We can say that the magistrates and also the Justice of Peace are working unpaid or usually working unpaid and do not need legal qualifications, but they get training to do the job. And at the Crown Courts, it are random people from the electoral register. And I think we can say that in the minor criminal cases, the magistrates and justice of peace people are saying also the sentence. And in the Crown Courts, not, we're just going to say not. If it's not true just for Scotland and they've written it, and we've said it wrong. But the judge is deciding on the penalty. Okay, we want to say first that it is criminal law and civil law. Criminal law that are more serious crimes and they are affecting the public, like murder or assault, or also public affecting crimes like smoking in prohibited areas or drinking in prohibited areas. Yes, not selling tobacco and drugs doesn't really fit in the description so good. And civil cases, these are more disputes between the landlord and the tenants about who pays for the repair, or contracts, or divorce. And also, we could also say that, yes, money claims, debt. When you want to say that there are minor criminal cases and they are done at the magistrate courts, and they are the magistrates working, and the magistrates were usually unpaid and not legally qualified, but they receive training, and they are deciding the verdict. We don't know how many magistrates there are. They are deciding just all over. Why have we oftentimes not given all information to all things? Maybe there are not always the same amount of magistrates. Why are we getting only selective information? Why are we getting the number of jury members but not of magistrates? Maybe the magistrates are not always the same. Here we're getting to the youth courts, that there are 3 specially trained magistrates. And the magistrates, they are usually unpaid and legally unqualified, or not qualified, but they are getting training. And in Scotland it is the sheriff courts. And where it is done in front of a sheriff. Or a sheriff and a jury. We never explained what a sheriff is. In Scotland, and then for serious, no, not the sheriff's courts, the Justice of Peace courts. The Justice of Peace courts. No, it was not right. Justice of Peace courts. And in Northern Ireland, where it is in front of a deputy judge, or a district judge, or deputy district judge. It is a district judge, or deputy district judge, and they are qualified and paid. And serious crimes, they are in front of a Crown Court. Or the Sheriff Court in Scotland, if they are in front of a Crown Court, that is in front of 12 people at random selected from the electoral register, and they are then saying the verdict, guilty or not guilty. In Scotland it can be also not guilty, or was it just, no, it is also there. Exists not guilty also for the magistrates courts, or for the Justice of Peace courts. Does this apply just for the juries or also for the magistrates Justice of Peace courts? And there are the Crown Courts, and the jury is picked from the electoral register, 12 random people, and they are deciding the verdict, guilty or not guilty. In Scotland it is in front of a High Court, Sheriff Courts, it was the Sheriff Courts, and we can also say not proven, and the sentence has been given by the judge. That means that the magistrate of the Justice of Peace courts, the magistrates of the Justice of Peace people, are giving the sentence and the verdict, and in the Crown Courts, or what is it in the Sheriff Courts? In the Sheriff Courts, if it is in front of a sheriff and a jury, then no, we don't know it. Well, we could say it. But what do we do with all these informations? Can we say them or not? The source is not sufficient. Is the source sufficient? If it is jury and jury, can we say that the jury is then making a sentence? But that doesn't really fit. If it is in the magistrate courts and the Justice of the Peace courts, probably the judge is saying the sentence. And there are serious offences which are in Scotland minor in most serious cases. Why should it then be the jury, and not just as it is probably in England, Wales and Northern Ireland, at the High Court? They're done by the jury. I don't know how we should continue, but I know we're not going to do it now, because now we're going to do the morning stretching. If you're here to either riddle around further with the insufficient source material, you can go directly to the next video. Otherwise, we're going to do another morning stretching. If you participate in the morning stretching, let's sit here on this. We are starting with a mushroom. We're bringing the leg up and pointing the foot down. And we're bringing the other leg up and pointing the foot down. And we're going to legs standing right apart at the beginning, going slowly down. And out. and in, and out, again in, out, again in, out, and up in the cross and out. Now I'm extending your shoulder wide apart a bit more. We're breathing in and lifting the arms up. And we're breathing out, we're going out to one side. Now breathing in up rib cage. And again out. Again in. Out into the middle. Breathing it in. And out over to the other side. Breathe in and out rib cage. And again out. Again in. Out into the middle and the arms down. Next exercise. Now one sees your curvature. Breathe in. And out, one hand slides down the leg and the other shoulder stays down. Now breathe in. And out, we're taking one elbow. Breathe in and out rib cage. And again out. Again in. And out into the middle. Now breathe in. And out, one hand slides down the leg and the other shoulder stays down. Breathe again in. And out, we take one elbow. Breathe in and out rib cage. And again out. Again in. And out back into the middle. And now for our legs standing together, we're breathing in and lifting the arms up. And we're breathing out, one hand comes down. Breathe in and reach. And again out. Breathe in. And out, one hand comes down. Breathe in and reach. And again out. Breathe again in. And out, one hand comes down. Breathe in and reach. And again out. Again in. And out, the last time, a hand down. Breathe in and reach. Out. The arms down. Next exercise, the Niagara Falls. Legs are standing wide apart and we're breathing in. And out and we're hanging down. We only have to come deeper down by breathing in through the nose to the chest. And by breathing out through the mouth. Breathing in. And again out. Breathing in. And out. And breathe in. And out we go over to one leg. Breathing in. And out. Again in. And out over to the other leg. Now breathe in. Out. Again in. Out back into the middle. Bounce your feet. And we keep on hanging down. Breathing in. Out. And again in. And out. Again in. And out we're coming slowly up, low back, and back in the top and backwards, shoulder. And the closing exercise, legs a bit apart and breathing in, going down. And out. Again in. Out. And the last round, breathe in. out. Da würde ich den Glas verlegen. That was the morning session. I thank you very much and until next time.